clock is ticking, but there's no time for me. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are.
Oh no. What happened to my subscribe button? Give me a second, guys.
Shit, nice. Did you make that?
Yes, I did. What is up,
bastard.
everyone? Welcome to the Gameweek 14 FPL podcast. And for some reason, my screen was flickering. But we are live now. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Love this song, says Zodiac. Thank you. So we were just a bit delayed. I was making myself a cup of tea. So I hope everyone has something to drink as well. While we basically dissect our season so far and try and figure out some what did you term it? YOLO strategies for 3 game weeks?
Yeah, it's an autopsy.
Yeah,
Not a
basically. Yeah. So Karan says autopsy, I say open heart surgery. But we're going to talk about all of it. So welcome to everyone, to Zodiac, to Tin, and to anyone else in the chat as well. Huge shout out to everyone in the chat. And let's get started. How are you doing, first of all?
Yeah, I'm doing good. FPL has been really interesting. It's been an interesting season, to say the least. Yeah, no, it's been interesting. Like, I haven't been doing well in FPL, but it's been interesting. So
Fair enough.
that's all I can say. Football, It's been a good season for football, right?
Yes, that's true. It has.
Like,
It-
so many narratives.
It is, and it seems very tight as well still in the table. You would have thought City would have run away with it, but Arsenal are right now top, but they drew, so they've also been pulled back into the pack a bit. So it's very interesting. Let's see how it goes. But we have 3 game weeks left before the World Cup starts, and there will be World Cup content as well coming for you guys. So don't worry about that. But that'll come when the game is launched. But for now, 3 game weeks to save us, or to at least see a green arrow when the game pauses. So having said that, let's get straight into it. This is the season ticker for the next 3 game weeks. Basically, I've taken this from Fantasy Football Scout. And you got Everton, City, United, Palace, Arsenal. That's your top 5 basically.
Is this sorted by fixture difficulty or something?
This is sorted by fixture difficulty. Yes.
By relative fixture difficulty, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really interesting because now we're playing a mini game of 3 game weeks, with 2 free transfers, and you got to think about players that are going to the World Cup plus the European rounds in between. So yeah, I think we're playing a really interesting mini game of 3 game weeks. So I'm excited to see what strategies will give me a red arrow this week. But
yeah, I think the question is how many players we can bring in. Probably there might be a hit flying in one of those game weeks. And can we get on the correct side of the 50-50 call basically at this point?
Yeah.
Because I think if you look at last game week, the most transferred in players were like Foden, Saka.
Foden and Saka, right?
Yeah. Both 1-pointers. Which I guess looking back at it, it was the right decision, just unlucky.
Would you have called? Did you think about Foden getting benched?
No, I thought Foden would play because of the fact that they had that 1 week rest.
Okay. Yeah.
From all the players who performed, the only one I kind of would have wanted would have been Almiron, because when we did the podcast last week as well, I was telling Rush and Roy, Almiron is a really good asset to own. And
I might have rubbished it.
Yeah,
exactly.
But
I looked at the underlying stuff. Yeah.
But then here's the thing, right? Some players just perform better than the underlying stats, unfortunately.
I agree.
yeah.
I think that's the mathematical definition of form.
Mm. So
he's usually overperforming the stats, but
yes.
if you watch the games, he's in crazy form.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, and like
Yeah.
he tends to play in like that getting behind striker from best of like Wilson. So lays it up from Wilson. So Wilson lays it up and then he runs it behind basically.
Yeah. And he's
so-
got a great shot.
Yeah, exactly. And Newcastle are really good as well in terms of their XG. So if I was to go next one, so team attack, right? Newcastle right on top. So I guess if you wanted to get Newcastle assets, they still are pretty decent. Like if you look at the fixtures, right? They've got Villa, Southampton, and Chelsea. Villa, okay, new manager might be a very interesting game.
It's Unai Emery.
Yeah,
He's not
exactly.
just a new manager. He is like top 10 managers in Europe.
So that'll be a very interesting challenge to see what
Villa got him. Like that's going to be very interesting for the league and for their assets.
I think Villa assets from start of when the Premier League recommences would be a very interesting thing to consider.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Abdurrahman has said he's made an early transfer this game week without much looking. Already regretting. Never make like Zodiac says, never make an early transfer when you have Champions League football midweek. There have already been like talks about injuries with regards to potentially Haaland, Foden, Cancelo potentially also missing out. What I forgot to do for this was to try and get the fixtures on as well. So we should probably start with like fixtures. How do you want to take this? Because this is basically open hazard. Do we look at our squads and then?
Okay, I think which teams have good 3 fixture runs that like everyone's going to have assets from?
City,
commonly. Yep.
Arsenal. All the Arsenal Chelsea one, I think you can, but still it's pretty good run.
Yep. A lot of people have like Zaha from Palace.
Yeah.
Maybe one Palace defender or a keeper.
But
I'm just talking about players that have more than like 20% ownership, top 10k.
Oh,
I'm not talking
that'll be most
like
of my
80%.
team. So let me bring up my team because most of it would be a template. So this was my team, right? So you have Zaha, Martinelli, Foden, Salah, interestingly, also not differential at this point.
Saka, Martinelli,
so that's your midfield. Then you obviously have your front line of Haaland, Mitrovic, a Tony maybe, or Solanke.
Yep.
And then your backline would have Cancelo, Trippier, and any third defender.
Yeah. So I think this is pretty template.
Yeah.
Maybe Saka is less template. But
Saka is still differential. Or he was last game week.
Yeah. And I think your Pickford pick is
differential.
Differential.
Yep.
And now you're in a good spot because they have excellent 3 fixtures, right?
I hope so. That's why I bought him in on the wildcard.
Yeah.
But going back to it, right? So if you were to look at fixtures to target, right? Now, if you wanted to target right now, you still have Triple City.
Yes, I don't.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't, and I have Salah. So I'm in a good spot to bring in KDB now or next game week, but I don't have Cancelo, which is really scary.
Yeah.
For the next 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question is, who do you think will get more points? Do you think KDB will get more, or will Cancelo get more between now and the next 3? Because you already have Foden and Haaland.
Yeah, I'm probably still going to pick KDB. But yeah. Anyway, we'll come to our teams.
Yeah,
I want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
who else is like Man United? Like I think some people have Rashford.
I think Rashford is still probably the best option right now. It's just that his shooting boots hasn't been found yet.
That's fine. He's getting the chances.
Yeah, Dalot is good for BPS, although on 4 yellow cards. So we'll see what happens in the.
Yeah.
I think you probably wait for the. You can bring in probably last 2 game weeks. I don't really mind if you wanted a defensive transfer.
So Varane is out.
Yes, that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah,
so,
I think you'll see that United's defense are like much worse.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't think it's slightly worse. I think they become much worse.
The Varane injury is a bit of a problem. There's a question from Turpentine whether is Haaland out. I don't think Haaland is out.
Haaland's
but
not out.
we'll have to see Pep Guardiola's press conference,
I'm trying to find the exact
the code.
quote. Yeah,
I think I should be
saw
able to
it
get that up.
earlier today.
Yeah.
I just can't
Um,
remember what it is.
but Haaland isn't out. So, okay, let's talk. So we spoke City, right? Let's go United now. For me, Rashford, we've seen. I just saw a training picture of Martial also potentially back in training.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so if he gets a few minutes
Yeah.
in the Europa League and then maybe gets about 30 to 40, or it depends on 30 or 40 minutes in the West Ham game,
Yeah.
then I would be tempted
To bring Martial in.
for Mitrovic potentially, because Mitrovic has 2 bad game weeks after this one, right?
Yeah.
City and United. So people will be looking for a potential Mitrovic replacement.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can get behind that. I think Martial is in weirdly really good, in good form.
Yeah.
Even though he's had a bad record of injuries this season so far.
Here's the
Um,
Haaland quote. Let me bring this up for.
he's tired.
Yeah. Oh, what else?
Yeah. Okay.
That's the Haaland quote. Yeah. So basically tired, but I think we should be fine still.
Interesting.
That is one to monitor and see basically.
If Haaland doesn't play or doesn't start, what is he Alvarez up front?
Yes, but then you probably wouldn't transfer out Haaland, right? Still, with the amount of value you have stored in him.
What if that does that make KDB better or worse?
That probably might make KDB better because there's a potential that KDB can play that false 9 position.
Yeah, they do it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
But
he doesn't have Haaland getting on the end of his.
Yeah,
football.
but I still would expect Haaland to start though. I think he'll be fine.
Okay.
We'll see. It's one to monitor. I've seen a lot of people now consider Salah captaincy as well. I still, to be honest, I would still captain Haaland, and because sometimes if the game is like pretty good and like City are winning comfortably, Pep potentially wouldn't bring Haaland on. So then you can have a good vice captain set just in case in that specific situation.
Yeah, I'm tempted to bring KDB in and captain because
that could work. Yeah, potentially if you wanted to. We'll have to.
But I don't know if I want to lose. Yeah, don't know if I want to lose Salah either.
Yeah, true. Against Leeds as well. He's done well against Leeds previously.
Yeah, I don't think Leeds are as leaky as they were.
No, they're not.
Also, right?
Yeah, but still a good fixture though. So one I probably I think that might be the last fixture I might give him, and then I might be tempted to go to Kane even if needed be. Another thing now from United, just to finish up the United topic, is if Martial does get minutes, then I'll be tempted there. But just going back to Everton, what Zodiac has also mentioned now, I've seen Calvert-Lewin. For Mitro.
I like it more than Martial.
Yeah. If he can not get injured in the next game.
I like it more than Martial.
Yeah.
I think Martial is probably a good pick, but I think he's going to make Rashford better. So I'd still go Rashford for Man United. Yeah, and I like DCL more. But if Tony's on 4 yellows and Tony has a great fixture in 15, right?
Brentford play Forest, yes.
Forest away.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is the time to chase upside, right? So I even thought about going Mitrovic to Tony in 15 and then Tony to like Darwin in 16.
That could work.
Because I think so in the next 3 weeks, I'm definitely not spending any transfers on goalkeepers and probably defenders.
No, probably not. Because
I say probably defenders because like bringing in Cancelo is still on the back of my mind.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. But the upside is like way higher in the attacking players.
I think so.
Yeah. There is also Gabriel Jesus, but on 4 yellow cards as well, which is slightly annoying. And the thing is, I think if you're getting Jesus, you probably want to get him now because the next
Yep.
game week you're definitely not going to get him against Chelsea. And then 16, I feel like it's a 1 week punt against Wolves is not a bad option, to be honest.
Yeah. And Arsenal, I'd rather get Saka or Martinelli
Yeah, fair enough.
and
Fair
not
enough.
Jesus. Yeah.
For me, I can probably go Jesus because I don't have a third Arsenal. I haven't got that defender yet. So if I was to ever make a defensive transfer, it's between, for me, Arsenal or maybe a Dalot. But again, without Varane, defense is a bit more questionable.
Yeah. But also, it doesn't matter, right? Because you're not going to spend the transfer on a defender anyway.
Probably not. I don't
Yeah.
really need. I probably wouldn't because I have Brighton, so I have Webster for the last 2 games.
Yeah. I'm just going to run with whatever defenders I have.
Yeah.
They're not really optimal, but I have a Palace defender, I have Dalot, and I have Trippier.
Yeah,
That's my
fair
back
enough.
line.
Fair enough. So that's fine, right?
And-
That's
and
completely fine.
It's fine. It's not amazing. I'm not going to change it.
Yeah. It's a third defender, whoever you have, basically.
Yeah.
So Everton, Calvert-Lewin, I think really good option. Probably want to see how he does against Fulham as well. And then if he looks pretty good, I think
Leicester and Bournemouth are such good fixtures.
yeah,
Leicester still can't defend set pieces
yeah.
to save their lives.
Even though Ward has managed to keep some clean sheets, I still think really good fixture.
Yeah.
Leicester at home, Bournemouth away. I mean, that's pretty good for me to try.
That's as good as it
target.
gets.
Yeah, exactly. So Calvert-Lewin is high up on the watch list for me. Palace. Let's talk about Zaha. You have Zaha?
I have Zaha. He, I don't know, from the highlights, he didn't look like he was involved much.
Yeah.
And hang on.
The away form isn't that great.
I'm just checking the lineup because I think Vieira was criticized for bringing on like too many like attacking mids and not enough center mids to control the game. So it sounds like they just completely lost control of the game because they have Eze, Olise, both are like wingers / attacking mid.
Yeah.
And then you have Zaha, who's like the greediest player on the left.
Yeah.
And then you have Eduard as an out-and-out striker, and then you have Jordan Ayew.
Yeah.
So and then they have like one holding mid to cover for the whole team, and they just got torn apart. So I don't think he'll be doing that again. I sure hope not. But yeah, Zaha looks best when he plays up front, and that's usually against the better teams.
Yep.
So he's one of those picks where he does well in fixtures you probably wouldn't have picked him for.
That's true. He does well against that, and also he does well at home. So Southampton game, it should be fine.
Without crunching any numbers, that's sort of how I remember him.
It's the West Ham and Forest away games that I'm slightly worried about.
Look, I'm open to moving Zaha out of my team if I can find a good opportunity. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think that's.
Okay, I'm fine with keeping it.
Yeah, fair enough. For me, I think that's the same situation. For me, it depends. It depends on what Salah does. That's the thing. If like I'm open to taking a -4 in 15 if needed be. I was thinking of like a Salah to maybe depends on which midfielder is performing, like Rashford or someone. Zaha to maybe
striker.
Yeah. I'll have to see. Depends on the situation. I'm still tempted by Almiron as well for 1 game week against Southampton in 15. But
didn't they just draw with Arsenal?
Who? Southampton? Yes, they did.
Yeah.
So they're a good team. I wouldn't say no. But Newcastle are attacking much right now.
It's an away game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Newcastle do attack a lot. Yeah.
So we'll have to see. Depends on what things could change in like the space of a week. Injuries could come and all of that. So we'll have to wait and see with regards to all of that as well. So that's Palace. Zaha, I guess, is the main one. You basically see how it goes.
Yeah.
Arsenal, I guess, Martinelli, Saka, 2 best options. The next one is, do you want to get Gabriel Jesus or do you Arsenal defender? Assuming people, I think, potentially have an Arsenal defender.
Xhaka. Don't forget Xhaka.
Ooh, yes. Good shot. Not too bad.
Don't forget Xhaka, and I'd probably have Xhaka or an Arsenal defender over Jesus as my third Arsenal.
Fair enough. I think if you're getting an Arsenal player, this is your last time to go for it. And apart from
for
game
sure.
week 16, because 15 I think is going to be a very tight game. Chelsea are good.
Yeah, so I also have a decision where I have Saka but not Martinelli.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking,
Ooh, okay, yeah, that's something to kind of consider.
it is.
Bournemouth, I think we have Solanke is injured, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Just flagged, I think. Yeah.
So that is something to basically monitor and see. I haven't checked with regards to press conferences or anything with regards to Solanke's injury situation right now. But yeah, Bournemouth, I'm not really looking at anyone. Brighton, I think 15 and 16, we'll discuss about that. A lot of people might have Webster or a Brighton defender on the bench, and that potentially might be the play for anyone who wants a third defender. Newcastle's still pretty good, to be honest. Villa they face a new Villa team under a new manager. We'll have to see how that goes, but they're still at home, so I still prefer them to win that game. Followed by Southampton. I think Newcastle will give them a good game. It's the final one, game week 16, where they play Chelsea. If you have double Newcastle defense, or if you have Trippier as well, I've seen people benching Trippier at times. Against Chelsea, though, I don't mind starting Trippier.
I would start for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think Chelsea have really found their groove.
No, that's what defensive.
They look composed,
better.
but I don't think. I don't think going forward.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I would prefer starting Trippier because going forward, Chelsea still haven't clearly shown that they're able to score a lot of goals. So I don't mind starting Trippier in that. West Ham, Bowen has lost his penalties. He's basically off. So
Moyes said that. Yeah, pretty much.
If you were to
sorry, who's that taker?
Well, I think it was Ben Rama who took it, the last one.
Okay. And Rice was on the pitch?
Yeah. Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
So if you were to go for the West Ham asset, is it Skamaka the only one, or?
I thought Skamaka had a pretty terrible game. Even though he's been in really good form before that. So there's a rotation chance. And even when he plays, he loses 15-20 minutes to Antonio every game. But I do like Skamaka. I think he's a good player. He's a very focal point type of player. But
Calvert-Lewin over those
I don't think I would go. I think I would go Bowen without penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
maybe like a Cresswell. Cresswell played really
true defensively. They've improved
far forward.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched the game, but
I haven't checked that. No.
Defensively, they improved, and Cresswell went back to playing left back. Where 2 seasons ago he was such a great option on FPL. That's because when he played left back, he has a really good cross on him, and he racks up the BPS because of all the balls into the box.
Yeah.
So he played left back again, whereas he's normally been playing like left centre back or something.
Defensively, they're third in the last 6 game weeks, West Ham.
Yeah.
So,
but again, I wouldn't bring defenders in.
No, probably not, unless you're really forced to bring in a defender. But yeah. Even then, I would probably start a third defender you have at this point, because you have only a few transfers left to make anything.
Yeah, to make 4-point hits worth it.
Yeah. So that's West Ham. Okay, Liverpool. Big question. Salah. What to do with Salah?
Yeah, I'm tossing it up. I think if you're in a position where you don't have a third City spot, then I think it's a real decision.
Yeah,
I think if you have triple City already, I think you definitely keep, right?
Yeah, I think you would keep.
I don't think it's super tough a decision.
No. Maybe. Well, it's not, this game week. I don't think there's too much of a decision unless you're in your specific situation where you don't have a third City player and you can potentially move to a KDB.
And even then, I'm not sure if I should.
Yeah, that's what. Because Leeds, I still think Leeds is a decent game. Now, the thing is, Thiago is still injured, which is another problem. But I think you keep Salah, for this game. The Tottenham game, though, that is something I might reconsider and see. Because I feel like Spurs have a higher chance of scoring against Liverpool than Liverpool do against Spurs at this point.
Sure, but there's better options in the game.
Yeah, true.
2 game weeks.
Yeah. But if you had the money, if you were moving Salah out, I don't know, it depends. Would you keep Salah against Spurs and Southampton? Or depends on the fires in the team at that point?
No, I would take him out. I would if I keep him this game week, I'll probably take him out next game week
Mm.
to try and make a
a
move
KDB.
elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like if I don't bring in KDB this week, then probably next week.
Yeah.
Or I could not bring him in at all and just bring Cancelo in this week.
That's a possibility. But I feel like if Salah doesn't perform against Leeds, that's it. Out. For me at least.
Even if he performs against Leeds, I think
then still probably out.
Yeah.
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 Because I think that Tottenham game is hard.
Mm.
And I'm going to try and target as much of the easiest fixtures I
look
can.
At City, Fulham and Brentford at home. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, the City games are pretty good. Zodiac says if I had Salah, I would keep him until after World Cup. He can still score a lot against anyone if it's his game. That's true. I mean, we know what he's capable of. The problem is Liverpool as a team just look out of form, like completely, which is a bit of a problem. So yeah, we'll have to monitor and see how they do in the Champions League, and also then look at the Leeds game and then make a decision. So that's basically the top half of the table, the teams that have the better fixtures. Anyone from this bottom half that's tempting?
I mean, Brentford still have decent fixtures for the first
Tony, yeah. Or even if people have Raya as goalkeeper, not a bad option still.
Yeah, I have Raya. I'm reasonably happy with it. Yeah, I would.
Apart from that, I can't
just
really...
look at Tony. I can't think of anything. Tony and Raya.
Yep, fair enough. And then
I was looking at Villa very quickly. No, I don't think so.
Nah. It's just Spurs that tempt me slightly. Because Leeds on the final day at home.
Spurs?
Spurs, 2 home fixtures, the last 2. That's the thing I'm slightly tempted.
But who though?
Only Kane. That's it.
So yeah, I mean, do you love bringing Kane in for Liverpool at home? Yeah.
He's probably been the most consistent second premium in the game after Haaland.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. Again, depends on situations, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Salah is a very frustrating player to own. Although I still see why you would want to keeping him makes sense, but still very frustrating to own.
Yeah.
So that's the season ticker. Last 6 game weeks team attack. Obviously, we mentioned about Newcastle. Aston Villa right on top. The shackles removed. Although with Unai Emery, we'll have to readjust again and check and see.
Yeah. I think Brentford just sometimes have a bit of a collapse.
Yeah.
With the way they play.
Yeah. City, West Ham next, and Liverpool still up there, even though they are looking like pretty up and down. One player we didn't mention, Darwin Núñez, if he is fit, better option than DCL?
What's his bit of fixture is like Spurs away.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's my likely candidate for a 1 week punt in 16.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. If I go Mitro to Tony and then Tony to Núñez, I think that's
okay. That makes sense. Southampton at home would work. And then obviously you have Arsenal and Tottenham. United very mid-table, which is a bit annoying. That's why I'm like Rashford, not really feeling it as much at the moment. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've played really well in the last
that's what. It's just the shooting boots are not there at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not even seeing the XG.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Next is defense. City, Arsenal, West Ham on top. Brighton as well up there. Webster for those last 2 game weeks, very promising. Newcastle as well. Spurs and Wolves, interestingly. But this is last 6 game weeks of data.
Yep.
So that's the stats that I bought. I didn't put any other
Leicester
players
down the bottom. So.
Yes. Haaland, right? Yes. I mean, I captain him. I'm not. There've been talk about Salah captaincy, and to be honest, I just prefer owning Salah at the moment than going against Haaland.
Yeah.
Watchlist. So premiums, basically in this watchlist, I've added Calvert-Lewin, that we mentioned before, for the forwards. I've basically removed the budget area basically because apart from Mitrovic, I can't really think of anyone else you'd put there.
Yeah. Solanke, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but injury, that's the problem, flagged.
Oh yeah, yep.
So this is basically, I think, the players who you could target for the last 3 game weeks that could do well. Any comments? Anyone missing that you would think?
No, I think this is pretty complete.
Yeah.
I think, did you mention Nunes? Oh, you
Yes,
did. Yep.
I've added him there.
Okay, Nunes with me. And this is, yeah, I mean, this is, yeah, pretty much what my watch list looks like.
Fair enough. Okay, let's just dissect our teams. Now, this is mine. I think I'm going to roll this week. Go into 15 with 2 free transfers. And then reassess the situation with regards to, obviously, Mitrovic will have to change. To free up that funds to potentially maybe even get Calvert-Lewin, then it would have to be between Zaha or Salah.
Would you consider moving Mitrovic on now? If you had a decent someone in mind?
It would be Calvert-Lewin, but then I would have to make another transfer as well, which I probably don't want to do right now.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So I'm happy to just play this team, roll, and then reassess with 2 free transfers in 15.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then in 15, potentially 2 free transfers and potentially maybe a -4 if I wanted to be a bit more crazy, but like we'll see. Depends on the situation. The rest, yeah, I can't see what else I'll change. Defense, Webster will come in back in. I think Gomez is about to lose his place with Konate almost back, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had such a good game against City.
Yes, and then a pretty poor game against, what was it? Forest, yeah.
Forest were all over them. It wasn't even just like a lucky win. Forest had like 6 big chances of them.
So we'll have to see how. I'll still play him this week, but yeah, I have defenders ready to play if needed be. Apart from that, I don't think I'll change anything else. It's only from now till the end, the only 3 players I'm having on the chopping block would be Zaha, Mitrovic, Salah.
Anyone you can, in your position, I wouldn't even get rid of Salah.
Probably not, yeah.
I think KDB is the best route, and if you have 3 City, then...
Yeah, fair enough. So those are the only situations for me. And then this is your squad.
Yeah, so I have in a pretty different spot. I have Madison, who probably needs to get moved on. He's got City at home. Yeah, and I don't have KDB, so I can consider Salah the KDB. But I'm considering Madison to Martinelli. Because I think if I don't bring Martinelli in now, I won't after that.
No, probably not.
But I also really like
Is
Martinelli at home to Forest is probably too good a fixture. I mean, Forest look good against Liverpool.
But Arsenal at home, this case.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal creating chances for fun against the bad teams or the bad teams. Yeah.
So I still favor Arsenal to go score a couple goals at least.
Who else has... I mean, otherwise it's Rashford.
Yeah. But like Almiron, if you wanted to, 2 weeks, good shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my underlying stats.
Fair enough.
And not pick Almiron.
Yeah. If the chat has anyone that you could suggest for Madison out to someone, feel free to do so. But yeah, in terms of points at least,
it's Rashford. Yeah, just Rashford or Martinelli, I think.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
And then any other changes you're considering, or we'll have to basically see how it goes?
It's one of those two.
Yeah.
So Madison to Rashford or Martinelli and Salah to KDB.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just looking at midfielders who can perform.
Maybe both. I thought about both.
That's also not too bad. You've got Martinelli. People have put Trossard as well, or at least in terms of expected points, Trossard and Rashford are the 2 options. That's something maybe that you could probably consider, but yeah. No, Martinelli,
In the next 3, who does Trossard play?
Let me bring that up. I think the next picture is hard, but after that, it's a bit more easier. You've got Chelsea this week, but then Wolves and Villa.
Okay.
So yeah.
Zodiac says
no.
Yes, I I got rid of Martinelli in my game week. What?
9 wildcard.
10 wildcard. Yeah, 9 wildcard.
Yeah.
And it's it's not a good decision.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so Martinelli is probably back in. So that's the teams. Now before it's a short discussion, not too much of a talking point. Just want to shout out to the people in the chat, and also if you haven't joined the league, the league code is in the description, like basically down there, X269WB. I'm just going to shout out the top 3 in the league. Zodiac is basically number 1 in the Football Chatbox League, followed by Mike and Ate in 3rd. Rushant is in 4th, podcast co-host. So let's see whether he can.
He's having a great season.
Exactly, he's having a great season. Yeah. So let's see whether he can make it into that top 3 of the Football Chatbox Mini League. Having said that, a couple price changes to have a look at, and then we'll look at panel team. Still, I thought I lost it. No, you're still up there, Zodiac. Okay, let's look at prices. So prices hasn't really, well, I think Saka went up if I'm not mistaken, but
Saka went up this morning.
Yeah, Foden right there, Andreas, who I now wish I didn't get rid of, but I did, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Diego Dalot seems like potentially. Mitrovic, I don't know why Mitrovic is close to rise. I don't think that will happen.
I hope Dalot goes up. That's 0.1.
And then falls, no one really that we own per se.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the price rises and price falls. Let's look at the panel team that happens to have a great week and is absolutely hammering us. Let me bring it up.
Yeah, the panel team is killing it.
Yeah, like it is. Well, it had a red arrow, even with 57 points. Because Andres was on the bench.
What's the rank?
It's a 261.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it had more performers at least. So this week, this is how the panel team is going to be looking like. That front line is still pretty good.
That's a good team.
Yeah. Bowen probably.
Yeah.
Probably wait for press conference news before we do it. Quinton, how are you doing?
But where would you go? Bowen to can you go Bowen to Saka?
We could do Bowen to Saka, I think. Yeah, we have the money to do that easily.
Yeah.
Bowen to Saka is one possibility. We probably wait until fixtures for Arsenal Europa League are done before we actually make that move. Mm-hmm. Just in case of injuries. But apart from that, the rest of the team looks pretty solid, right?
This is a good team. This is a better team than my team.
Yeah, fair enough. It's better than my team as well at the moment.
Yeah. I think Trent is good.
I think he'll play.
Yeah. I think he'll play the next 3, and I think.
Yep,
there's very high upside possible.
Yeah. There's a question from Quinton. Thoughts on Billing to Xhaka?
I like it. Yeah, Xhaka's a great pick at the moment. He's always in the box. Yeah.
He's playing the number 8, which means he's getting license to move forward a lot more.
I would describe him as a much worse Gundogan in the City formation.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe him. Yeah.
I would probably agree with that. Gets into that box, comes in late, still manages to get on the end of some stuff. Yeah, probably.
And Arteta loves to copy Pep.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a decent description. Much worse Gundogan. Yeah. So he is a good option for Billion as well. Bournemouth fixture is not looking good at the moment. Going ahead. So yeah, not a bad shout, to be honest. For that price range as well, not too bad. Anything else to add on this? No, probably not.
No, I like the Sinistera pick. He's decent underlying stats and has looked quite dangerous in every game.
Picture's not looking good though.
The next 2 are good.
Yeah, Liverpool good because
Liverpool are good. Yeah. Liverpool are genuinely a good fixture.
Yeah. It's Spurs that might be a bit harder.
Yeah.
But then we can think about it when it comes to that. The question is, would you start Sinistera or would you start Andres? There's been a question to probably ask about whether you would start Sinistera or Andres.
I'd start Sinistera.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it has higher upside.
Yeah.
However, Andres always has goal threat. Assist threat.
Yeah. And he's taken he took all the set pieces and everything, I think.
He takes all the set pieces.
Yeah. There's also Eze is also a nice option instead of Billing. Yes, that's another possibility as well. He already has Eze. And then also thinking of Almiron or Bernardo Silva. I would probably go Almiron more than Bernardo Silva just because of the rotation.
I'd
between
go
City.
Almiron over Silva.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Almiron's a pretty good pick as well, to be honest.
Also, Almiron instead of Xhaka.
Would you go Almiron instead of Xhaka?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I think right now, if you were to look at the okay, maybe Almiron's numbers are different, but if you look at Newcastle's numbers, attacking bites is much more higher.
Zodiac says I would start Guehi over Sinisterra. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Did think about this.
I don't mind that actually. We could do that.
I'd probably still keep the upside of Sinisterra. I think Leeds will get lots of chances. Sinisterra looks like on the end of it all the time.
Fair enough. Okay, we'll see how it goes then. And Rushant is in the chat as well. If anyone has any questions, put it in before we wrap up, because we basically dissected our teams. There's Eze or Dalot. Start Eze or Dalot.
Eze.
Eze has Southampton. Dalot has West Ham. Yes, West Ham. I would probably agree with that. Also because Varane is out, so that changes things a bit as well. I would probably
Eze looks better than Zaha at the moment.
Yeah. Fair enough. So start Dalot is what I would say. Sorry, start Eze is what I would say. Usually I prefer to start the attacker or a defender in most cases. For the exception of Cancelo. Yeah. And Trippier nowadays. But anything else?
Too. Yeah, me too. That's why I played Sinisterra. We'll go ahead. Yeah.
Anything else to add?
No, I think it's a short pod for this week. I think, it's just like I said before, I think it's just about the next. We're just playing a mini game of 3 game weeks.
Yeah, fair enough.
And chase as much upside.
One thing I wanted to say. So, in terms of like setting targets, right? I was looking at live FPL to see what's like the rank gap between the ranks where I am at. It's like I think 30 points between my current rank to top 500k. Exactly 30 points. I was like, okay, 10 points a game week. That's something I need to consider.
Yeah, it's still tight.
Yeah,
it's still tight. But you can have like 2 big game weeks in.
Yeah, so that's probably going to be my goal before the World Cup. Try and get into that top 500k. We'll see what happens. The Eze or White? Ben White. I'll probably go.
I'd go White.
White.
Oh shit, that's really close.
That's it. I would probably go White.
I would probably
would you
go?
White. You go Eze or White?
I'd go White. Like you said, I do prefer to start midfielders over defenders.
Yeah.
But like they have a really good fixture.
And White bonus points are pretty decent as well because he gets involved quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, he's a right back now.
Yeah.
So he had like an assist, right? Last game.
I would probably go White on that specific case. Yeah. Captaincy. Now, very interesting discussion.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about captaincy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Haaland is the current bus captain for me. The question is, if we get rumors or press conference news saying that Haaland is a doubt, we don't know. Let's just say it's a typical generic reply of, we'll have to assess the day before the game and see whether he's fit or not. What would you do in that specific situation? Still put the armband on Haaland, or if you had the likes of Salah against Forest?
So here's how I would
Leeds.
do it.
Yeah.
So if we have news that Haaland is playing, then I would captain Haaland.
Okay.
Right, but I don't expect to get clear news.
Yeah.
And if we have the news that we have now, which is that he's like not feeling great, but like probably will get minutes, or and then we wouldn't be too surprised if he starts either.
Yeah.
Right? With this level of news, I would say my number one captain for this game week is De Bruyne. Right, and then, but like I think Salah and Kane all have good fixtures. I just don't think Spurs look that great at the moment. I don't think they create that much. Son looks kind of out of form. So my number one captain would be KDB, and then second place is tied for Haaland and Salah.
Okay.
With the info that we have now.
Yeah.
But then if I get info that Haaland is most likely going to play, it would still be hard.
Yeah, fair enough. So for me, okay, if Haaland is definitely going to play, it's going to be Haaland. If with the current info, I still don't mind going Haaland, but then I would set the vice captaincy to someone like, probably vice captaincy would go to Salah. Yeah. Because if, let's say, Haaland doesn't start, I don't know why Pep would bring him on unless City aren't winning comfortably. And if City aren't winning comfortably, then Haaland's coming on to get goals. So I'm happy with that as well. So for me, still, it would probably be Haaland number 1. If Haaland is out confirmed, then I probably go captaincy to Salah. Because I don't really have anyone else. But if you had KDB, then I prefer KDB.
Zodiac talks about Saka, which is a great shot.
Yeah, that's not a bad shot, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's a great shot.
Against Forest would be a really good option. To be honest, I wouldn't mind Saka over Kane as well. Because Bournemouth are, I would say, Bournemouth at home are a slightly better team nowadays. And this is Arsenal at home. So I prefer the home team at this moment. So I wouldn't mind Saka over Kane as well. But Kane it's just that Kane has been so consistent that we know he's capable of delivering at least 8 points, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think Saka's underlying numbers have gotten better and better as the season progresses.
Yeah, true.
I think Martinelli was way ahead of him at the start in terms of underlying numbers. But now Saka has caught up and slightly exceeded Martinelli.
Yeah. Rush says Tony Hall incoming. Rush, you're the only one who can captain Tony and get a hat-trick from it at this moment. But Tony playing Wolves, to be honest, that's also not a bad fixture. If anyone
Wolves has good underlying stats.
Yeah, fair enough.
Underlying defensive stats.
So, yeah, that's basically it. So, captaincy also covered. That's the current situation we are in. So, yeah, I don't think we have anything else to add. It's just a short pod because we're just basically now... It's basically trying to catch as many hauls as we can in the last few weeks we have. So, yeah.
I'm tempted to go get KDB.
Yep.
That's what I'll be thinking about all of tomorrow.
Fair enough. So we'll see how it goes. Make sure to hit the like button, guys. And also, if you haven't joined the league, X269WB is the league code. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, as we're trying to get to 500 subscribers. We're currently on 421. Can we get it before the start of the new year? Maybe. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. Deadline stream on Saturday will probably start 3 hours before the deadline, because the suggestion from Zodiac in terms of starting a bit more earlier than the other creators has actually paid out, because there's more viewers on stream at that time. So deadline stream on Saturday, and yeah, hit the like, subscribe, and we'll see you all later.
See you guys.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette.